Hi again. So I just recorded like a 20-minute video about sort of my whole process from the beginning of going down to Florida and coming home. But I wanted to record a video about my post-op diet because I feel like it's really different from like everyone else that I see online, their post-op diet. So like most people I see have clear liquids for like a week. Some people are 2 weeks, and then it's like full liquids for another week, and then like some of them don't even get to like try a bite of real food until like 4 weeks. And I literally had like 3 mini meals today of like real food. So, and I feel great. So I just wanted to just sort of talk about that quickly. So my day of surgery was just nothing but ice chips, and I call that sort of day zero. So then post-op day one was the day after my surgery, and all I could have was ice chips and I could sip water. The nurse said that cold, like really cold water can contract your stomach and it hurts. So I haven't tried anything too cold, but I'm gonna try it tomorrow because room temperature water is like kind of hard to tolerate really like over the course of the whole day. And I don't really like Crystal Light and stuff. I don't mind it, but it doesn't really help me get the water in. Like I'd rather just have water. So yeah, so post-op day 2 was the day that I was discharged. So that was yesterday. And they brought me breakfast in the morning, and it was Jello, broth, tea, and Crystal Light. And I really had just like a couple like little bites of the Jello, which is part of clear fluids. So you know, even people on clear fluids, most of them are allowed to have that. And then for lunch, it was sort of the same. It was, I think, vegetable broth and Jello. And they kept bringing me lemon Jello. Like, who wants lemon Jello? Come on, bring me some, like, strawberry Jello. But whatever. It was sugar-free. And, it, you know, I took really small bites because I was really nervous to eat anything. So, yeah, so I was just, like, sipping as much as I could. But I kind of, like, knew it. Since I knew I was on IV fluid, I just, like, only sipped to, like, kind of keep my mouth from being too dry. And I should have probably like started practicing sipping more because I'm having a hard time getting my fluids in. So my bariatric nurse came in on the day I was discharged and talked to me about my post-op diet. And she suggested, first of all, that later that so I was just on the clear fluids for the rest of the day, but she suggested later in the evening that I just sip a couple ounces of protein shake to sort of prepare my stomach to have real food the next day. So their post-op diet for Dr. Shillingford on day 3 post-op, which is today, excuse me, the water causes little gas bubbles. So I had cottage cheese for breakfast, and I was only able to have like a couple really, really tiny spoonfuls because I was just really nervous to have too much. So I get to have 1 to 2 ounces of a soft protein 3 times a day, and then I'm supposed to have protein shakes twice a day. And the way that she described it was, whatever meal or shake it is, like try to eat for half an hour, and if you can't, and then just stop. So don't like try and force yourself to eat for an hour just so you can get your 2 ounces in or whatever. Because you don't want to get into a habit of grazing all day. You want to try and get into a habit of having set meals and snacks. So yeah, so I woke up and had my cottage cheese, and then when I got to the airport, I bought a protein shake, which I'm gonna try to remember to post a video with that protein shake because it was made with milk and not like a whey protein, and it didn't have quite as much protein. Like it had 20 grams instead of 30, like my Premier Protein has, but it was really good. It was strawberry banana, and it was a nice change from like the chocolate shakes all the time. So yeah, so I had that on the flight. I was just sort of sipping it. And then when we got to Michigan for our layover, I had my sister get me a little bit of yogurt. So I had about 2 ounces of yogurt, and that went down really smooth. So it was that was good. And then when I got home, when I landed and got home, I had another couple ounces of my protein shake. And then I napped for a while because I was exhausted from my flights. And then for dinner, I made scrambled eggs. So I just like mixed a little bit of milk in them, and then added, when they were done cooking, I added some cream cheese and some chives because I feel like it's okay to have some flavor. I'm eating really, really tiny meals, so I don't want to feel like I'm just like eating crappy food all the time. There's no need to eat crappy food. So my eggs are actually really good. And I made enough for me and Lucas, but he, I think, just had a rough day and he wasn't really hungry. He didn't eat much for dinner. And so I put it into a little like 2-ounce cup that I used to use for his baby food. And I was eating it. I have a timer on my phone that I had just go off like every minute to help me space out my bites a little bit. And I think that's going to be really helpful because it's hard to get into the habit of really slowing down. And it's different when the yogurt was like Go-Gurt, which is not ideal, but I was at the airport, so it was pretty limited choices. But I was just like sipping it out of the little tube. So when I'm like sitting down with a fork, it's hard to, take small bites and eat really slow. So the timer really helped. I like chewed for like 30 seconds and then waited another 30 seconds until I had my next bite. It went down really good. I didn't have any nausea. I didn't feel like it was stuck in my throat at all. And so I feel like if that is how these solids feel on day 3 post-op. Like I can't imagine why people have to wait until 2 weeks post-op to even have something really soft like eggs or yogurt. I asked my bariatric nurse about it, and she said that they go to all the seminars, they keep up with all of the current data, and they've been doing it this way for years, and they haven't had any problems. So the reasoning behind the clear liquid diet is supposed to be like to help let your sleeve heal, but they told me there's not really a lot you can do to damage your sleeve right now. The incisions are tight. There's, the chance of leak is really tiny since I had the contrast eye test. And as long as I keep the amounts really small and I follow my plan, I shouldn't have any problems. So it's nice because I don't feel deprived. I'm not hungry. Like when I ate dinner, it was like, it's time to eat dinner, but I wasn't necessarily hungry for dinner. But it was kind of nice to eat like food with flavor. So, yogurt and cottage cheese are fine or whatever, but the eggs, it was like real food. So it was, I chewed it and it was really good. So I'm really happy with my post-op plan. I'm on this plan for 2 weeks, or up to day 13 or whatever post-op. So I don't think it's going to be that bad as long as I continue to not be hungry. And then between all of my, obviously if you've read anything, like you can't drink during your meals. I was really thirsty after I ate my eggs, and I set a timer on my phone for 30 minutes so that I could have some water. But I need to work on getting my fluids in, because I think I probably had maybe 20 ounces of water today. I was on the IV until maybe 10 o'clock today. So I know that I'm probably not dehydrated today, but I can't, I need to get my fluids in. So my nurse said 64 ounces is the goal. 40 is going to keep you out of the hospital. So I don't think 1 day of 40 ounces is going to put me in the hospital, but consistently not drinking more than 40 ounces is going to make you really sick. So tomorrow my plan, she also said to have some hot, warm tea in the morning. When you're overweight for a long time, your body produces a lot of saliva because digestion starts in your mouth. And so people get foamies, which I haven't had. I haven't had any nausea or vomiting or anything, but people spit up foam. It's saliva that's in their mouth that they're swallowing and it's coming back up. So she said by drinking warm tea first thing in the morning, it helps sort of reduce that and get rid of it and clear it up from the night before. So I'm gonna have some tea in the morning. She said to eat my breakfast, which is 2 ounces, but eat within an hour and a half of waking up, and then have 2.5 hours later have my shake, and then 2.5 hours later have my lunch, 2.5 hours later shake, 2.5 hours later dinner. In between all of that, I can have any clear fluids. They don't count as food. If I take applesauce to crush my medicine, she said that doesn't count either. But yeah, so my plan tomorrow is tea in the morning, Jello sometime between breakfast and lunch, broth sometime between lunch and dinner, and then a popsicle before bed to just add the little bit of variety with the fluids, and then just water, as much water as I can drink. I also have a snow cone machine that I got, a really cheap little one that I got for my son's first birthday. I know, ridiculous, but I had my husband freeze some Crystal Light, he made up Crystal Light and froze it, and I'm going to shave that. I do find ice is a little bit easier than water because it just really trickles down your throat. So so I'm going to have that as a little, spoon it. It's shaved ice. So I think that'll really help. So I'm really going to focus on fluids tomorrow since I'm home all day. I'm not traveling. I think traveling really just made things a lot harder too. So yeah, so that's my post-op diet, and I had going in, I sort of had this thought that like, oh, I'm going to be more strict. I'm going to go with clear fluids because that's what everybody does, and it just doesn't make sense to me. And now that, and the nurse said like, don't trust Dr. Google, just follow the plan and you'll be fine. And so that's what I've been doing, and I'm fine. So I'm really happy with how my recovery is going, and really happy that this is my post-op plan, because a lot of people are really miserable the first couple weeks, and it's nice that like if I'm really craving food that I can make some eggs or have some cottage cheese, or like I can make the ricotta bake that I hear so much about as like a post-op recipe. So yeah, so that's my post-op diet. It's a lot different than I think a lot of the diets that most people see. So I just wanted to sort of give my take on it and why I think it is great. So thanks for watching. Sorry, this has kind of got another long video too. So take care and have, a good journey.